Good day, this is NSA302, Environmental Health. I'll be taking you through study section 4, Man and his Physical Environment. When you have studied this section, you should be able to explain the definition of environment. You should be able to enumerate the major components of environment. You should be able to list and explain elements of environment. You should be able to explain the importance of environment studies, and you should be able to mention the changes in the environment. Environment is the representative of physical components of the earth, where man is an important factor affecting the environment. It may also be defined as the sum total of all external forces, influences, and conditions which affect the life, nature, behavior, and the growth and development. Major components of physical environment they are water, natural vegetation, landforms, and rocks. Elements of environment. Environment is constituted by the interacting systems of physical, biological, and cultural elements interrelated in various ways, individually as well as collectively. This element may be explained as follows. Number one, physical element. Physical element as space, landforms, water bodies, climate, soils, rocks, and minerals. They determine the variable character of the human habitat. Its opportunities as well as limitations. It has opportunities as well as limitations. The biological elements, their example are plants, animals, microorganisms, and men, which constitute the biosphere. And lastly, cultural elements, such as economic, social, and political elements, are essentially man-made features which make culture made. Let's move on as we talk about the importance of environmental studies. Importance of environmental studies is a study that is based on a comprehensive view of various environmental systems. It aims to make the citizens competent to do scientific work and to find out practical solutions to current environmental problems. The citizens acquire the ability to analyze the environmental parameters like the aquatic, terrestrial, and atmospheric systems and their interactions with biosphere and astrosphere. The importance are, number one, world population is increasing at an alarming rate, especially in developing countries. Number two, the natural resources endowment in the earth is limited. Number three, the methods and techniques of exploiting natural resources are advanced. Number four, the resources are overexploited and there is no foresight of leaving the resources to the future generation. Number six, the pollution and degraded environment seriously affect the health of all living things on earth, including man. And number seven, the people should take a combined responsibility for deteriorating environment and begin to take appropriate actions to space the earth. Let's move on as we talk about impact of environment. Man is responsible for both physical and chemical changes in his environment, which has indirect biological effect. Some examples of those changes are number one, stratospheric ozone depletion, climatic change, acid rain, thermal pollution of water bodies, and construction of large engineering works. Environmental impact occur over three scales, which are locally, regionally, and continentally. Human activities in the environment are interrelated. This is because any activity of man is done in the environment and the resultant effect is either positive or negative to man. Human activities are diverse. Other activities which lead to pollution include thermal power stations, burning of fossil fuel, exhaust fumes. All this emits harmful pollutants like sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, and so on and so forth that cause acid rain, global warming, and malfunctioning of human hemoglobin. So the following are human activities on the environment. Number one, destructive logging of forest. Number two, overgrazing and overcropping of arable lands. And lastly, mining. Let's talk about environmental pollution. There are various problems occurring in the environment, some of which are pollution and land degradation. But let us first of all talk about pollution. This phenomenon occurs whenever potentially harmful substances are released into the environment. Pollution on the whole is caused principally by human activities. On the whole, is caused although it can also be a natural process. It is usually classed according to the receiving agent of air as emission, water as effluent, and land as dumps and disposal. Pollution can be categorized into three major, which are the air pollution, the oil pollution, and the noise pollution. Air pollution deals with the contamination of the air with unwanted gas, smoke, particles, and other substances, while oil pollution is deals with the oil spillage. When oil spillage is another hazard. For example, oil spillage, for example, we have it. The Niger Delta region, which are oil producing areas, have from time to time suffered from the effect of oil spillage. The vast majority of Nigeria's oil and gas is produced in Niger Delta. While this generates billions of dollars for the Nigerian economy, it causes major environmental problems for the inhabitants of the ecosystem. Noise pollution has to do with the unwanted sound. Noise is usually measured in decibels and is generated mostly in high density urban areas or even in industrial areas that usually use industrial plants as their sources of energy. So let's talk about land degradation, which is the second aspect of the environmental problem. Land degradation is one of the worst environmental problems facing many people worldwide. Over 40 million are affected in Nigeria. The intensification of the use of fragile and marginal ecosystem has led to progressive degradation and continuing desertification of marginal agricultural lands, even in years of normal rainfall. What are the causes of land degradation? The causes of land degradation are: number one, improper resources management, destructive logging of our forest, overgrazing, overcropping of arable lands, flooding and wind erosion, menace, strip mining in some part of Nigeria, and lastly, land degradation with pesticides, fertilizers. So these are some of the causes of land degradation. I hope you have learned one or two things so far in this study section, and I hope that you will continue to learn more in the subsequent study section.